Hey everyone. Okay, so check this out. I have been working all day on a way to try to battle my writer's block, and I feel like I'm probably not the only one, so I thought that maybe I would kind of share this with you and see if it's something that you might be interested in. I'm actually going to try to do this for 30 days straight and make 30 songs, so we'll see how that actually pans out. What we're going to try to do, using die and using a little spinny wheel, which is a CD, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. I do have keys written all the way around this thing in the circle of fifths. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take die, multiple different sided die. I've got 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20, just to kind of share the parameters that I've been going through. On the 4-sided die, this is actually going to tell me the bottom part of my time signature. I'm going to multiply it by 2 just because it's going to be a lot easier to think about. I'm going to have my 6-sided die. This will tell me what instrument that I'm going to start the song with. So if I roll a 1, it'll be electric guitar, 2, bass, 3, drums, 4, acoustic guitar, 5, I'm actually going to try to do it on just MIDI, either by using the keyboard or even honestly just on the piano roll on the computer, and that it is what it is. And then 6 is basically just anything else that I have in my house. I have all sorts of different percussion and mandolin, violin, saxophone, and things like that, things that I haven't used in videos before, so I figured that that might be fun to try to incorporate some of those as well. I have my 8-sided, 10-sided, as well as the 12-sided die. What's going to happen is these 3, whatever is the highest of these 3, is going to tell me the top part of my time signature. So between those and the 4-sided die, I'll be able to know what time signature I'm going to be playing in. And then my 20-sided die is actually going to tell me what scale or even what mode that I'm going to be playing in. I'm just going to go ahead and just type that up so that you can see it on screen, because it's going to be a lot for me to just say it. The first half of them actually are going to be just different modes of the regular major scale, essentially. The second half are all pretty well things that I don't ever play in, so I'm really excited about those, but I didn't want to just throw in only things that I'm unfamiliar with. I do want to have some sort of a bearing of where I am. I think that that'll be a nice split between knowing what I'm doing and not knowing what I'm doing. On my phone, I've actually downloaded an app that's just a random number generator app. My parameters are going to be set between 60 and 240 so that I'm not going so slow or just, oh my god, it's so fast. Hopefully that's going to be a good realm, and then between that, the BPM, and my time signature, hopefully I'm not going to end up with things that are just completely insane. And then of course, yeah, we have the spin wheel that's going to be able to tell me what key that I'm actually going to be playing in. The other rules that I'm trying to stick to, I do want to have every song at least be a minute long. I feel like under a minute, and that's not really much of a challenge anyways. I want to have at least 4 tracks per song. That's not to say that I need to have at least 4 instruments, even though they probably will have 4 instruments at least. Words and honestly video as well, I'm not going to require myself to do those. The whole video facet of all this stuff is really difficult for me. There's a whole psychological component that makes it a lot more difficult to just get in front of the camera and actually try to be doing everything rather than just doing it. I don't know if I'm going to put just video game footage in the background or what I'm going to use just yet. It might just be one track of me playing the guitar. We'll see what it ends up being. And then the words, maybe I'll write some words for a few of the songs, but I've never been that comfortable with my voice, and I've definitely never been that comfortable with the words that I write, and I know that I should just practice it, and this would be a perfect opportunity to do that, but I don't want to try to bog myself down with too much for this project, because I do want to try to get to the very end of it, and I want to see what I can do in 30 days for 30 songs, because I feel like maybe at least 1 or 2 of those might be some cool ideas that will end up sticking and hopefully will turn into actual cool song ideas in the end. All of these parameters that I'm setting up, I do want to use it for at least the beginning of the song, but obviously tempo changes, key changes, even time signature changes, these are all very crucial tools in a composer's arsenal. So I do want to be able to manipulate that through the song. I don't want to be hard, fast, stuck in this one thing. I'm sure that I'm not going to be doing a crazy amount of key changes or anything like that. I'm not a crazy jazz musician. I wish that I was, but I'm just not. I'm not that smart. Some things that I'm hoping to try to actually gain from this are going to be a better ability to just get things out into the public. I've always been somebody who's always tried to do more, and then no, that's not good enough, it needs to be perfect, it's never going to be perfect. But that's it's really easy to fall into that trap as a musician. And so I'm trying to just make it so that hopefully a time constraint, and especially all these different constraints, are going to make it so that I don't have as much thought that is going to go into it, so I can just get something done. Another thing on that same point is just getting over, I need motivation to write a song, I need inspiration to write a song, essentially be a way to get through writer's block. That's what the ultimate goal of the whole project is. A big thing too, I don't know about the rest, I am a guitarist at heart. I don't know about the rest of you all out there. I feel like it's a very big trap that guitarists fall into, where we like to play in G, we like to play in 4/4, and that is 99% of what we do, just because that's what we're comfortable with. And I want to try to branch out more and experiment, especially with different scales, different time signatures, different keys, and hopefully just kind of broaden my musical horizons. It's great for me that I can actually do this and see if it is a good idea, and maybe I can share it with you. And then if you're interested in doing it, please feel free to go ahead and give it a try. If you want to share it with me, I'd be happy to give it a listen, just because I want to see what other people can come up with this same kind of system as well. I think that it might kind of spur some creativity for other people. It's strange how with the pandemic, I feel like in the first part of it, I was given all this freedom, and I was like, yes, I'm going to do so much with all this time. I'm going to be able to write so much music. And for some reason, that freedom just completely shut me down. I think a lot of it too is, it's going out and experiencing the world. It has a lot to do with getting inspiration to write a song. But hopefully putting more of these constraints are going to kind of limit the amount of thought that needs to go into it, so that it's not such an anxiety-inducing process, and it will be able to be something that can just be done. If it works for me, it can work for other people. I don't know why I like to think that my brain is just like everybody else's brain, and so if I think that it's great, that you'll think that it's great. But I'm happy to share my experience and see what other people might be able to come up with the same kind of framework as well. Another thing, obviously, if I'm writing 30 songs in 30 days, every single one of them's not going to be a banger. It's not going to be absolutely perfect. It's not going to be something that I'm just absolutely so proud of. So hopefully by putting myself out there like this, I'm going to be able to kind of get over myself and just kind of realize that I don't need to be perfect. Some people aren't going to completely vibe with what I'm doing, and that's fine. Obviously, there's some things that I am a little bit worried about with it. The biggest thing just being burnout. That's a lot of material to try to get through. I think that it's something that I just need to do. That's all that it is. If you all have questions about my process, if you have questions, or if you want maybe even to see the stems of the songs, if you want to remix them, if you want to take a specific piece of something that you hear and you want to play around with that, or if you want to set up the parameters for me so that it's not going to be all based on dice rolls and little spin wheels or whatever it is, I'm happy to I'm happy to have those conversations, basically. I do want to have definitely a random element to it. I don't want people out there just like telling me, you need to play in 26/7, whatever that might sound like, and just trying to make things as difficult as possible. Okay, so let's try to see how this goes. We've got the die here. We've got our very, very complicated, so sophisticated spinny wheel. And I guess what I'm going to do is I'll set a guitar pick down, and that'll just be pointing to it. All right, so we've got our 6 die. We're going to give those a nice shake, roll those around, and then 4 side has 1. So we're multiplying that by 2. So our bottom part of our time signature is going to be a 2. The highest roll between the 10, 12, and 8-sided die is an 8. So that means that we are playing in 8-2. The 20-sided die ended up rolling a 19. 19 means that would be played in the Persian scale. Spinning wheel. looks like we're either, I'm going to call that an A, I guess. If it's right between the line, maybe what I might end up doing if it does ride the line, maybe it'll start in D and then go to A, or A and then go to D. We'll see how I end up doing that. The last part is going to be random number generator. So hopefully you can see parameters are going to be minimum 60, maximum 240. We're going to generate. Number right here is 211. So that means BPM 211 at tempo 8/2, played in the Persian scale in the key of A, would be the parameters for this first song. Now, obviously, this isn't a perfect system. I don't exactly know what I'm doing just yet with it. I just tried to come up with all this today, all these different rules and everything. I'm sure that things are going to change as the system develops, and I am positive that I'm not the first person to have done something like this. I just don't know personally if somebody else has done it. I didn't want to go out there and search for it because I wanted to kind of have somewhat of an original idea of what I was doing. But if you know of a video or just somebody personally that you have seen do this, or even something similar to this, and you think that that might be a good idea for me to implement into what I'm doing here, please reach out to me so that I can kind of implement that in, like I said, implement that into what that I am doing here. And yeah, we'll just kind of tweak the process, improve it as we go. And I don't know, I'm super excited. I hope that you guys are excited. Leave a like if you want to see what goes on through all these different songs. Definitely subscribe if you want to see what happens in the very end. I feel like that's going to be probably the coolest video, is to see what happens in the very end, if I think that it was actually a good process to go through, if I think that it was just a complete waste of time. But you have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, cool. Bye.